What is up, YouTube? This is T.1 coming at you with another video, and today I'm going to be doing a follow-up of sorts to my list of canceled movies I did a few months back. A medium just as littered with the corpses of would-be classics as video games. There are tons of games that looked amazing, sounded amazing, or both that completely fell apart, and often for the dumbest of reasons. A couple honorable mentions right out the gate. First one is Silent Hills. You guys might be shocked that this didn't make the list proper, but even though it looked really cool, I just have no investment in Silent Hill as a series. Plus, Hideo Kojima is hit and miss for me. That having been said, this would have been something really special. It's a collaboration between three unique creatives, Hideo Kojima, Junji Ito, and Guillermo del Toro, and it was a property that really did need a shot in the arm. The other one is Star Wars 1313, another one that might seem like a shoe-in, but while the closure of LucasArts was and is inexcusable, they weren't in the best place when they were working on this. The studio really needed new leadership, in my opinion, and I'm not 100% sure they would have pulled this off. It was a great idea, though, and who knows? Maybe this would have been one of the great Star Wars games. I'll say this is not the last time Star Wars or Guillermo del Toro will appear on this list. Anyway, on to the real ones. Number 5 is Agent. The game I know the least about on this list, this was a proposed PlayStation exclusive developed by Rockstar, a pretty heavy name in the industry. All we know is that it would have been a Cold War espionage game, but that makes me excited. Rockstar games always have such a transportive sense of time and place, and I think that getting back to their British roots and essentially making a Bond game is an exciting prospect. I mean, can't you just see a From Russia with Love-esque thriller story, but with the driving and shooting mechanics of their other games? Who knows? Maybe they'll revive it at some point. They could use a new IP, in my opinion, but as it stands now, this is one of the most heartbreaking might have beens. Number 4 is Horror of the Orient. I mean, what a title, huh? Pretty brave to put not one, but two slurs in there. Admittedly, this is mostly due to the guy behind it. For a brief time, about a decade ago, George Miller's production company, Kennedy Mitchell, tried to move into video games. It didn't pan out, sadly, and the only project that leaked to the public was this one. A kind of more action heavy version of LA Noire involving an American at the center of a mystery in Shanghai. There was a little bit of gameplay footage leaked, but come on. George Miller, narrative virtuoso, making an action adventure game, sign me the fuck up. Not only is he one of our great storytellers, he's long been someone with a love and respect for gaming as a medium. And while the Mad Max game was cool, he wasn't super involved with it. So, me personally, I'll always be a bit mournful for this one. Number 3, Insane. Told you we get another Del Toro on the list. This was a horror first person shooter a la Bioshock with a story penned by Guillermo and based on the works of H.P. Lovecraft and developed by Volition. Now, you might say, how could you be excited for a game from them? But this was 2009. I'm talking about this Volition, not this Volition. And unlike some of the other entries in this list, while we don't have any footage, we do have quite a few details on what this game would have been like. Game Informer did a pretty lengthy interview with some members of the dev team. I'll link it in the description. And a lot of what they said sounded really cool. From a lengthy sequence in an old timey sanatorium to a climax involving ramming a train full of explosives into a kaiju sized elder god. This seemed like a perfect mix of Del Toro's gothic sensibilities with the kind of over the top action Volition used to be so good at delivering. And I'm still pissed I can't play it. Number 2 is Pirates of the Caribbean Armada of the Damned. Propaganda Games was a studio that had just begun to find its footing when Disney unfortunately shuttered them, and this open world action RPG set in the Pirates universe is a game I think about almost daily. They'd already made a really underrated and pretty damn good Tron game, in my opinion, and everything that we've been shown from this looked like something special. From the unique, over the top hack and slash combat that involved whacking people with an anchor, to the infamous inspired karma system. See, like so many of the movies, the player character in this game would be supernaturally gifted, and depending on his karma, it would manifest differently. He'd either be a light-hearted, swashbuckling hero or a really gnarly looking, quote unquote, cursed pirate. I think what makes this hurt all the more is, by all accounts, it was basically done. Like, at most a month from being ready for store shelves. The Pirates franchise has many misses, but this game looked like something that not only understood the appeal, but was bold enough to sail the series into exciting new waters. Number 1. Man, 1313 looked so cool, right? Like a combination of Star Wars and Uncharted. Makes you wonder, what if, like, the creator of Uncharted made a Star Wars game? And I know this is straight up fantasy league stuff here, but what if she did it at the studio that made Dead Space. I mean, what idiot would cancel that? Fuck you, Andy. Yeah, number one is Project Ragtag. Of the many things the game industry owes Amy Hennig an apology over, canceling her action crime Star Wars game is right at the top of that list. And closing a studio that had given gamers countless unforgettable experiences when they trashed visceral games. Described as an epic Ocean's 11 heist story set in a galaxy far, far away where the player controlled several different rogues as they teamed up to pull off said expansive heist. This is Amy Hennig's bread and butter, man. Cinematic action, likable characters with just a dash of Han Solo badassery, and giving her the toy box of Star Wars, there's no way it wouldn't have been kick ass. And the reason for EA pulling the plug was just that final bit of salt in the wound. Quote, because no one wants to play single player games anymore. What a fucking joke. Putting aside the fact that the only Star Wars games EA's put out that have been worth a damn are single player story driven experiences, Project Ragtag would have been a jewel in the crown of Disney and Lucasfilm. And instead, we're stuck with a Phantom. And this piece of shit, which ripped off a couple of Ragtag's ideas. Anyway, those are 5 games that I really wish would have seen the light of day. This is T Quinton 1 signing out.